Momonosuke, I can hear it. How long it's been. The drums of liberation. For the first time in 800 years, he is here. Joy Boy has returned. In this video, I'll break down what Luffy's Devil Fruit really is and how it's connected to both Sun God Nika and Joy Boy. Everyone knows who Joy Boy is. Actually, we literally know nothing about him. Either way, Joy Boy was an extremely relevant figure of the Void Century who played an important role in the history of Fishman Island and left behind a certain item of unimaginable value on the last island of the Grand Line. He was first mentioned on the Ryugu poneglyph read by Nico Robin while at the Sea Forest, and Gol D declared that he wished the two could have lived during the same period upon learning the true history on Laugh Tale. Due to Kozuki Oden expecting Joy Boy to reappear 800 years after his last known appearance, and King thinking that Kaido could have been such a figure, Joy Boy likely refers to a title or identity someone can attain. And this is why in chapter 1043, Zunesha said that Joy Boy has returned. Since we first met Kaido, and even through flashbacks, we've learned that his main goal is not to be the king of the pirates, but rather to die and be reborn again as Joy Boy. In chapter 795 titled Suicide, we're introduced to Kaido for the first time through this story. The man claimed that he was searching for a place to die. To speak more on this man, he had tasted defeat as a pirate on 7 occasions, and been caught by the Navy or enemy ships no less than 18 times. He was tortured time and time again, and lived as a prisoner. And finally, he attempted suicide. The very rare act of suicide by jumping from a sky island and back to the present. To repeat, this is the man who challenged the Navy and 4 emperors and was caught 18 times and endured over 1,000 tortures. He was sentenced to death 40 times, but when he was hanged, the rope snapped. When put under the guillotine, the blade cracked. When skewered, the spear broke. Ultimately, he sank 9 different prison vessels, meaning none of these people were able to kill him, and that included he himself. The reason why this is important is because in chapter 1043, Luffy just achieved what Kaido's been attempting his whole life, to become Joy Boy. And ironically, it was Kaido himself who helped Luffy attain this form. But how does this connect to Sun God Nika? Well, thanks to Liam over at Grand Line Review, we might actually know. Zunesha mentions that he heard the drums of liberation for the first time in 800 years, and those drums signaled the return of Joy Boy. But in the Encyclopedia of Things That Never Were, Creatures, Places, and People, a book published in 1985 by Michael Page, there's talk of an African god named Joy Boy whose story made its way to the Caribbean. Sun God Nika seems like an almost identical recreation of this version of Joy Boy, as he's described as smiling perpetually at all the foibles and problems of mankind, and cures human troubles by tapping out an irresistible rhythm on his drum. Whoever hears the music of Joy Boy is compelled to dance and sing along until he or she has shaken the black cloak of despair from their shoulders. Again, like Zunesha said, the drums signal the return of Joy Boy, which Luffy has seemingly become in the latest chapter. But the fact that Oda has made pretty clear connections between Luffy and Sun God Nika before as well makes this so much deeper. In the manga, Who's Who mentioned that Sun God Nika was a figure that slaves would pray to in the long distant past, a legendary warrior they believed would one day free them. They thought he'd bring smiles to their faces and deliver them from suffering. If we take a look back throughout One Piece, although Luffy is a pirate and refuses to be regarded as a hero, all he's done is free people everywhere he goes. He freed his entire crew, he freed the people of Fishman Island from Big Mom's rule, he freed the people of Dressrosa from Mingo's rule, and by the end of this arc, he'll have freed the people of Wano from Kaido's rule, practically making him a present-day Sun God Nika. And just like Joy Boy is depicted in the book and Nika has been shown throughout the story, those with the Will of D are said to have an uncanny ability to attract friends, allies, and even befriend former enemies or unexpected people. And we've seen this throughout the series with Luffy. He's able to make anyone laugh no matter what, and he makes friends with everyone, even some of his enemies like Crocodile, Bon Clay, Mr. 3, and Buggy. And especially in Wano, with the exception of the flower capital, the land of Wano is a wasteland, polluted by the weapons factory that poisoned the freshwater rivers, and the people practically live as slaves. To realize his dream of becoming Joy Boy, Kaido wants to command the strongest pirate crew in the entire world, which consists entirely of Devil Fruit users. So he fed his crew Smile Fruits to amass an army. However, due to the unstable nature of the Smile Fruits, 90% of test subjects became pleasures, unable to express negative emotions, smiling and laughing all the time regardless of their true feelings, even when taking harm. The worst part is that because the people of Okobore Town are only given the leftovers from Bakura Town, where the Beast Pirates live, the slaves in Okobore Town ate the defective Smile Fruits and they too became pleasures, forever cursed to smile. This ties back into Luffy's goal in Wano, as well as Joy Boy and Nika. Luffy plans to free the people of Wano, especially Okobore Town, and give them fresh food and clean water to make them truly smile like Who's Who's story said. So now this finally takes us to what Luffy's Devil Fruit actually is. Since the moment Luffy ate the Gum Gum fruit, we've been led to believe that it turned his body into rubber. But this devil fruit could actually be something completely different and be the catalyst for a person becoming Joy Boy. The Void Century has remained a mystery for over 800 years thanks to the 5 Elders. So what if, to prevent another Joy Boy from emerging, they renamed this specific devil fruit the Gum Gum fruit to throw people off of the Joy Boy trail? This could also explain why in chapter 1041, the CP0 member was told, "Listen closely. The 5 Elders have issued an edict. Eliminate Straw Hat Luffy at once. They know full well it's impossible. It's a world-class battle, which is why it's so dangerous. These orders are meant to prevent the worst-case scenario. And that worst-case scenario is Luffy becoming Joy Boy and possibly awakening his devil fruit." The problem here, though, is the 5 Elders didn't know that killing Luffy was what would cause him to become Joy Boy. The reason why many also believe that Luffy will awaken his devil fruit is because in this arc, both Law and Kid awakened their devil fruits, Sanji gained his exoskeleton, and by once again almost dying, it seems like Zoro will also become stronger and possibly awaken the full potential of Enma. In chapter 1039 spread, we also see a crowned monkey pointing at some yellow slime, and at the end of chapter 1043, after dying, we see Luffy covered, melting into that slime, which could in fact, like Katakuri, be his devil fruit awakening. And opposite to what we believed, this devil fruit may actually be a mythical Zoan rather than a paramecia, the Mythical Zoan Model Wukong to be exact. Wukong is sometimes referred to as Monkey King or Sun Wukong, which could tie back to Luffy's connection to Sun God Nika. It's also worth mentioning that Luffy's full name is Monkey D. Luffy. Now, assuming that Luffy actually has the Wukong fruit, his stretching along with many other things can be explained just by understanding what Wukong is. Wukong is a Chinese mythical figure with over 72 powers, ranging from stretching his body to transforming his 84,000 individual hairs into another form, be it an animal, a person, or an inanimate object. And this could be connected to the fact that Luffy names his moves after animals, with his most powerful one currently being King Kong Gun. It's also worth mentioning that while Wukong has 72 powers, Luffy may not possess all of them. Instead, it seems like each of the Straw Hats have their own. For example, Brook has the ability to astral project and walk on water. Robin can manipulate her body to grow more limbs, Nami can manipulate weather, has an extendable staff, and with Zeus, can now fly on a cloud. Chopper has complete knowledge of medicine, Sanji can basically fly as well, and using Diabo Jambe has fire, and while Wukong mainly uses his staff, he is a master in all forms of combat, which could connect back to Zoro and even Jinbei. So it's almost guaranteed that in the next chapter, Luffy will reawaken as Joy Boy, and it's also possible that we'll see his devil fruit awaken. For now, we may just see his rubber be more versatile, similar to Katakuri's. But given all the connections to Wukong, it's possible that his devil fruit may be revealed to be something else entirely later on. But let me know what you guys think about all this. Do you think that Luffy could be Joy Boy and Sun God Nika? And what do you think of Luffy's devil fruit being a mythical Zoan?